What's up everyone? Welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and I'm joined by my lovely girlfriend who you guys probably know as Infinity on Hannah. I know I'm like 3, 4, 5 years late on actually doing this, but I decided it was time to do the concert tag because I get asked about my worst and best experiences at concerts and music festivals all the time, and I figured this was the perfect time because I don't believe you've done this video either, have you?
I think I actually have.
Oh.
Or else, it wasn't the same questions, though.
Okay, yeah, we got a list of new questions here that I took straight from Tumblr, so you know they're legit. At the end of the day, I think this will just be a fun little video that gives you some insight into our concert experiences over the years, from some of the insane stories to some of the faraway festivals that we've been to. You'll get to hear it all here. The scoop is in, scoops ahoy. Like the video, let's get to it. How many concerts have you been to in total? How many concerts you been to? A lot! Nah, but in all seriousness, it is way too many to count at this point. I've been to free shows, I've been to festivals, and if you count festivals, do you count each
openers?
do you count openers? Do you count each individual set that you see at a festival? Because if so, then I see like 20 to 30 to 40 acts every single time I go to one of those. It's impossible to keep up with. So the concert total, I guess, is somewhere in the stratosphere or somewhere in the over hundreds of shows probably. Best and worst concert you've been to. I think we're in agreement in saying that unfortunately the worst concert that both of us have ever been to was the A Day to Remember show in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, it didn't really have anything to do with the band, but just the venue was kind of way too small and there was nowhere for us to go where you could see unless you had paid for VIP seats or if you were in the pit, which was already so overcrowded.
They oversold that show.
Yeah,
and
it was not a good experience. We only caught 4 or 5 songs by them, and there was a fight that broke out.
A fight broke out during
right
sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. It was chaos. This was House of Blues, Myrtle Beach for reference.
The best concert I think that I've been to so far has to go to the Save Rock and Roll tour, I believe it was. This was in 2013. 21 Pilots opened for Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy. So that's all 3 bands that I really loved. And I actually got to meet Fall Out Boy then too. So it was just the greatest day ever. Even though I didn't have close seats, it was still that good.
Obviously, with Hannah's being a little bit more obvious, Infinity on Hannah, and the title of the channel, and then mine being my favorite band, Green Day, the experience was just wild. It was amazing. Yeah, you were there. And that's awesome that we did get to experience that together because neither of us had seen Green Day before. This show in particular, it was a crazy lead up because I was sick. My stomach was feeling so bad and I didn't feel good at all during the opener Against Me. And the first few songs of Green Day, I was still feeling maybe slightly off, but I was like, dude, just get out of your own head. Be here, experience this, and we were in the pit right in front of Billy Joe on the catwalk, and that just solidified the fact that obviously this was a dream come true. Best opening act. This is a tough one for me because it's normally if I'm going to the show, I often go to lineups that are stacked, and I decided to go with an answer that would represent somebody that I got into because of them being the opening band, somebody that I didn't know at all. I didn't even know they were on the bill. And this was back in 2012. They were opening for a band called The Naked and Famous. This band was Now. They're actually still around. I think they're in a more limited lineup at this point. But I seriously fell in love with their album Thread. I actually got to meet them and they did an intro for my channel at the time.
Hey, we're Now and you're watching Album Review TV.
Mine kind of easily goes to 21 Pilots, and I know that sounds crazy, their opening, but yes, that's kind of how I got into them. Like I just said, they opened for Fall Out Boy. That's literally how they won me over, and they've by far been the best live band that opened for anybody that I thought was that good.
Furthest distance you've traveled for a concert. Would you go farther?
What, Boston?
Yeah, Boston Calling.
I think that's the farthest.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty far from me too. Initially, I would say my answer just for an individual concert, although there was something else to it as well, another incentive for me to come, but Wolf Alice, seeing them in Pittsburgh. Hannah happened to send a screenshot to me when we were just talking back before we were actually a thing, and then I was like, I'm gonna come for it. She was like, no, you're not actually gonna come. And I was like, well, I just bought tickets, so guess I am. So I traveled 7 hours to see Wolf Alice, and it was amazing, but I was there for ulterior motives.
Aww. Would we go further? Yeah, I think so, because we considered going to Chicago for, again, a festival. Normally, we're more inclined to travel further for a festival because you're getting a lot out of it.
We are considering going on that Weezer cruise if they do put that together. God. We talked about it. I mean, it's probably going to be way too expensive, but I mean, that would be a far distance to travel, so really, I just want to go bird watching with Rivers Cuomo. I just want Daddy Rivers to yell at me and say, "Get out of the deep end, John." Have you seen your favorite artist or band live? Yes. Yeah, we both said it at the same time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed we have. I've seen Green Day. You've seen Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco.
Several times,
yeah. Are there any upcoming concerts you're going to? Well, we talked about going to that local festival that's in North Carolina because Grayscale are going to be there and I think Belmont are going to be there, but we don't know any of the other bands and it's a kind of pricey ticket to just see like one act. It's all about the budget. I tried to get in for press on Riot Fest, but they're really weird. They're kind of ass backwards. They're like, we don't consider YouTube to be a legitimate outlet that has any kind of coverage. The Raconteurs are one that I'm most likely going to be able to get on the guest list for, and either way, I might look into getting tickets for that just because it's been more than 10 years since they put out a record. Who knows if they'll ever tour again. That would be a great one. I'm hoping to catch one of their NC shows. Also, we're probably going to catch Sum 41, which I'll most likely be able to get guest lists before just because I do have a contact over there at their team. And then Bad Flower, because we're supposed to be house sitting up in Pennsylvania, so most likely we'll probably go to their show at the Rex this fall if we end up going. Nice. It would be nice to see them at a kind of small headlining venue. Are there any concerts you've regretted not going to?
I think all the time there's shows that we would really love to go to, but we just can't for whatever reason. So yeah, you kind of regret not going.
But not like it's not like, oh my god, my heart is sinking because I didn't make it.
I think the biggest one for me, I had tickets to Fall Out Boy's Wind Tour, which was their tour with Paris and AWOL Nation. And that was like one of the last tours they did where they had a pretty good set list in my opinion. But because it was in a different state and I was in college, I was like, oh, this is probably not smart. I'd have to miss school. I don't really have a way to get there anyways, and I have no one to go with. So I sold them.
I always regretted not going to the Foo Fighters Rock the Vote 2012 concert. I was supposed to go with my friend Josh, and I believe we even had tickets for it. It was like kind of like a last minute thing. It was in North Carolina, and we didn't end up going. Something came up with like one of our work schedules or something, and I sold the tickets, and I really regret it because at the time it ended up being the longest concert that they ever played. They played for like 3.5 hours. It was a super small venue. I had tickets for it and I let them go, and I will never forgive myself for that. Favorite concert experience? The Final Warped Tour is one for both of us.
I think that was a big one. Last year's Warped Tour, technically the last actual
It was the last cross-country run of Warped Tour.
Well, we got to go for free actually because of Austin Knight from Water Parks kind of let us come on with them.
And we got to go backstage anytime we wanted. We had to pass that basically we could just walk in and out
wherever we want. But individual experiences, again, the Save Rock and Roll Tour was kind of unbeatable, but also the Death of a Bachelor tour. I actually went to that one by myself, I think.
Oh wow.
But that was when I got to meet Panic, and I kind of stuck it out by myself. I was super close in the front, and it was like so much fun.
And I would say for me, I mean, obviously the Green Day one, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but also the recent 21 Pilots concert that we went to on the Bandito tour, it was wild. They were all over the place. They came up on a set like at the back of the pit because we had pit tickets, and we were like basically front row for that little stage right there. It was wild. It was amazing. They sounded fantastic. It was fun, and it never stopped giving you something new. Also, I did get to see My Chemical Romance live, like right before they broke up. It was the Honda Civic tour with Blink-182 and My Chem. So at the time, I was like 18 years old. It meant a lot to me because those were two of my favorite bands. Any life-changing moments at a concert?
Define life-changing, because there's some great moments, but I don't know if it changed my life.
That's a very melodramatic question.
Yeah. For me, I think a few pretty cool moments happened. Once when I saw Fall Out Boy, I was in the pit, and during Saturday, which is the song they play last, Pete always comes out into the crowd and kind of screams and sings with everyone. I got to grab his hand, and I was like in a lot of the photos because I was like right there. that was a really cool moment. I also, when I saw Panic last summer.
I was with you
were
on that.
there.
Yeah, I was with you, and I was very jealous.
No, you weren't. Brendan came out during Death of a Bachelor. He came right up to me, got to grab his hand as well. So a lot of hand grabbing going on.
I briefly made eye contact with several different people,
same.
and it was very cool. Billy Joe Armstrong being one of those, like I mentioned already. I did have the experience. Matt Bellamy, the lead singer of Muse, came out into the show during Starlight on their tour. I can't remember what tour it was, but it was like 2017. And he was coming down, and I ran up to the end of the aisle, gave him a high five as he was walking back. So that was something. Have you made any friends through attending concerts? Simple answer for me, no, because I'm antisocial. How about you?
Really?
No, I've met plenty of viewers and fans, which is always nice. I really do like that. I'm not actually antisocial. I just don't normally start conversations with random
Just
people.
Be like, hey, we're friends.
I talked to those people about my Mouse Rat shirt at the Trophy Eyes concert last fall, so maybe, hey, that was something. And we talked like twice throughout the night, so that was something.
I think for me, not really like friends that I just see at concerts, but like familiar faces that you see in your hometown, like people that I am acquainted with.
Do you go for the bargain price seats, or do you try to get as close as possible?
Honestly, it really depends on who it is. Like, I'm not gonna go for like the closest, most expensive seats if I don't absolutely think it would be worth it.
Or if it's something that I'm dragging you to that you don't really want to go to.
Well, same other way around.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
then we're probably
we
not gonna get the
usually
pit.
don't,
Yeah.
But like if it's something that I think it would be a lot worth it, like 21 Pilots, for example,
Yeah.
which we tried to get pit and I ended up getting it, so I was like, cool.
Green
And it
Day.
was way worth it.
Yeah, it totally was. Green Day was pit. That was
Same.
amazing. I was in pit for Avenged Sevenfold before,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
I think it's a great experience if it's a band that you like enough.
Do you buy merch at the venue?
I think you do way more than I do.
Well, that's because you generally already have it. And
That's not true.
Well, or else, I don't know. It depends, because a lot of times it's just me being a cheapskate, like wanting to not pay the shipping cost that you would have to pay to get it from their web store. And if I'm going to the show anyways, then I'll pick it up. Sometimes they have cheaper shirts than
I'm
what's
definitely
listed.
more inclined to buy something if the show blew me away. I
Right.
usually won't buy it till after, or if it's a band that I really want to support, I'd rather spend money on merch for smaller bands that kind of need it more than like the big artists.
Have you ever been noticed by an artist at a concert? Surprisingly enough, I mean, yeah, actually, I've had a lot of instances of that happening. And some of them have been at festivals, others have been at like shows. But it's happened from everybody from Lauren Mayberry from Churches to Chester Bennington, Lincoln Park. I'm actually wearing this shirt right now. But yeah, that one was wild to me because he had retweeted me before and like thanked me on Twitter for a review of the Hunting Party. But later that year, when I was at the meet and greet that I had won a pass to, he walked up to me and like recognized me and started the conversation, which was just mind-blowing, so cool. I'm very grateful for that experience. Also, I had a couple of bands at, what was it, the festival, Sonic Temple that we went to. Boston Manor recognized me.
Struts.
The Struts. They were like, wait, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
You reviewed our albums? Oh, thank you.
That was
And
cool.
that was awesome. That was really cool.
I have as well, like a lot of different ones. I don't know what really counts as noticed. Like, do they have to talk to you or do they look at you or
Right,
whatever? I mean,
right.
I've had like eye contact moments singing back and forth with bands or whatever. But I think the biggest one for me, literally all my answers are like Fall Out Boy related, but like when I met Fall Out Boy the second time, I had given Patrick a couple gifts or whatever, and it had my name on it. And when we came back around to go get the picture, he said my name to me. I forget like what exactly how he said it because I didn't record it or anything, but I know he said my name like to me as I came up. So that like literally I just couldn't even handle that moment because I was like, he actually knows my name, and he was like my favorite person at the time. So that was probably the biggest one.
Have you ever caught anything an artist has thrown into the crowd?
The most recent situation was probably, I think it was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a Sleeping with Sirens show. It was like their acoustic tour.
Hold up, you went to a Sleeping with Sirens acoustic tour?
I was there, don't ask me why I was there, but they threw a guitar pick out and it landed like right between me and my friend and we were sharing it, but I haven't seen it since then. So thanks, Maddie.
Where's that at? Mine, I guess, would be Hoodie Allen because I interviewed him before his show at UNC Wilmington when I lived there back in 2014. And then afterwards, he kind of like motioned like during the final song, No Interruption, that he was like gonna throw me the set list. And he did. And I caught it because I actually have really long arms. Have you attended any meet and greets? Do you have any pictures? Wow, I actually just made a video about meet and greets recently, but I did meet Linkin Park at a meet and greet because I had won that. The only ones that I've been to, I never actually paid for. I actually entered contests and got really lucky and won. Yeah, I won for Linkin Park, which was huge. When I saw that in my email inbox, I was freaking out. And then also for Switchfoot, which was still really cool, I guess.
Yes, yours truly has paid for a few meet and greets in my day, but only because two of them, I just knew I was never gonna meet them, like running into them because they're too big and they're like my favorite band. So yes, I did pay to meet Fall Out Boy. I don't regret it at all. Like it was so worth it.
And Panic.
And Panic, the one time they ever did a meet and greet on tour, I did it because I knew they weren't gonna do it ever again, and they never have done it ever again.
And Brendan called you sweet. Yes, get to it.
Yeah, and I got to give him a letter and everything, so that was great. Any other meet and greets I've been to were probably a part of like an album bundle, like you get VIP entry or whatever. I went with my friend to meet Mayday Parade once. I've met Issues before, and a lot of other smaller meet and greets, like All Time Low, I think. Twice we went to their signings or whatever, but nothing too crazy.
I've met bands. I meant to talk about this in my meet and greet video. I've met bands like this is normal to like you buy the album and then you get to go to the signing and like take a picture.
Or even at festivals they do like at Warped Tour like little signings. I got to meet Citizen technically, but it wasn't really like a meet and greet.
All right, everyone, that was the concert tag. Make sure you subscribe to Infinity on Hannah's channel. I will leave a link in the description down below. Let us know about some of your craziest or most fun or most awful concert experiences in the comments section. Don't forget to drop a like on the video while you're here and subscribe for the love of music. You can see another concert video that I did where I talked about meet and greets right over here. You can see one of Hannah's videos right here. All of the socials can be found in the description down below, and we'll see you soon right here for more on Beyond ARTV.